Hello and welcome to another video with Class Solutions 10. In this video, I will show you how to resolve a common issue when another app is currently holding the yum lock. So you have the error in CentOS and in RedHat Linux. This error typically occurs when the yum package manager is locked by another process, preventing you from running yum commands like yum install, yum update, and the rest. So a typical example of the error is what you see on my screen here. I ran yum update and then I have this output right here. So this indicates that another app is currently holding the yum lock. So how do we resolve this issue? In this video, I'll explain why this error occurs. I'll guide you through two methods to fix this error manually and using a bash script. You will learn how to safely terminate the process causing the lock, and we'll demonstrate how to use a bash script to automate the resolution. So I'll save the first for the last. So instead of explaining why this error occurred first, I will do the fix, and when I'm done, we'll now explain why you have that error. So the first thing we're going to do now, I'll guide you through the method of fixing this error, which is the manual process and then also using the bash script. So using the manual process, so the first thing that we're going to do now in the manual process is to identify the process holding the lock. So use the error message to identify the process ID, which is the PID that is holding the lock. In my own case, the process ID holding the lock, which is this right here. So you need to identify the process ID holding the lock. So to check the process status, you can run ps-p. So in my case, my process ID is 3534. So after checking the process status, the next thing you want to terminate the process. So if the process is not critical, you can terminate it using sudo key -92524. So this right here will terminate the process. Now, this is only if the process is not critical. If the process is critical, then how do we go about it? It's a different approach. So after terminating the process, let's assume the process is not critical. After terminating the process, the next thing you want to remove the log file if necessary. So if the process has already ended, but the log file still exists, how do you remove it? Then for that, you do, I'll leave that sudo. So you do sudo rm-dev, and then say /var from right there. So I'm using my tab key because I'm in the path. So I'm using my tab key to complete what I'm typing. So this is it right there. So that's the command to remove the log file. So this is going to work if the process has already ended, but the log file still exists. So this right here, when you run it, it will remove it for you. And then once that is done, you want to rerun the command again, sudo yum update. So you want to run this command again after ensuring that no process is holding the log. Then you will try the yum command. So that is how it is done. So you will notice that as I'm doing everything, I'm just typing. I didn't actually run the command because I told you in the beginning of this video that I'm going to show you two ways how to do it, how to do it manually and how to do it using a bash script. So let's create a bash script to run the fix for this yum lock. So now that you have seen how to fix this error manually, now let's automate the process using bash script. If you remember, when we were doing it manually, there was a step that we did to terminate the process. And I made mention that if the process is not critical, then you can run sudo key -9 and then with the process ID, right? And then I made mention that if you have a process that is critical, you cannot use this command right here. So in the bash script, what we are going to do now is we are going to combine both together. So the bash script will work for both if the process is critical and if the process is not critical. So we are going to add some logic to the bash script to check if the process is critical or not. So the first part of this script, we need to ensure that this script must be run as root or with a sudo privilege. I like to add comments to my script. It's good for description, so when somebody that doesn't have much knowledge about scripting look at the code, they are able to determine what each block of the bash script or the code is doing. So let's break down this first part of the code before we move ahead. So this first line right here, that is the shebang line. So this tells the system that the script should be run using the bash shell. Alright, and then this second part of the script right here, so that is the root privilege checking. So this part checks if the effective user ID, which is the EU ID, is not 0, which means the script is not being run as root. So once you find out that, then it gives us this output. It echoes that this script must be run as root or with sudo privileges. So it prints out, so this part prints out a message indicating that the script needs root privilege. And then this right here, exit 1 right here, that is the exit code. So exits the script with the status of 1, indicating an error. So that is an exit code. Alright, that is the first part of the script. So let's go to the next part of the script. So the next part of the script now is to find a process holding the yum log. So find process holding log. The ID. Alright, like I said earlier, this part of the script is finding the process that is holding the yum log. So let's break down what we have right here. So this part right here, ps space aux, it lists all the running processes that we have on the system, and grep yum right here, so it filters the list to find the yum process. So this pattern that I use with the square bracket inside of the while ensures that grep itself is not included in the result. So that is what that means. And then this part right here, org print $2. So it extracts the second column, which is the process ID of the yum process. And then right here, this first part, which is the yum_PID. So this part right there assigns the PID, which is the process ID, to the variable yum_PID. So the next part now is the part that we want to add some logic to the script to check if the process is critical or not. So let's break this part of the script. Let's break it down. So this entire block is checking if the process is critical. So this first part right here defines a function to check if the process is critical. And then this part right here is just comment, add logic to determine if the process is critical. And then for demonstration, we assume any your process running more than 1 hour is critical, which is what it's supposed to be. So this part right here gets the elapsed time since the yum process started. So and then moving further to this part right here. So this part fetches the elapsed time and then extract it. So this part right here is checking if the elapsed time is greater than 1 hour, and then return 0 if the process is critical, return 1 if the process is not critical. So that is what this block right here is doing. So the next block that we're moving on to right now, if the process ID is found, then how the termination process will be done. You see, process ID. So to break down this part, let's start from the first part right here. So this part right here checks if the yum underscore process ID is not empty, meaning a yum process not found. So that is what that part is doing. So after that part is done, it comes to the next part. So this part right here checks if the process is critical using the previously defined function that we have done right here. So that is what that part is doing. So moving from that part, we come here to the echo part right here. So this echo part is printing out a message. So it prints out a message indicating an attempt to terminate the process gracefully. And then below right there, this is the command that is using. So the command sudo kill15 sends the seek term signal to gracefully terminate the process. And then right there, sleep for 10 seconds. So which means wait for 10 seconds to allow the process to terminate gracefully. So after waiting for 10 seconds to allow the process to terminate gracefully, then the next block right here checks if the process is still running. And then after checking if the process is still running, we have this message right there that will echo. Is going to print a message indicating a forceful termination. And then after the forceful termination message is printed out, we have the command to do that. So this command sends the CQ signal to forcefully terminate the process. And then the next part is a conditional statement else, which is a conditional statement in bash script. So else, if the process is not critical, then if the process is not critical, then we have this right here. So it's going to echo process is not critical, so forcefully killing, which prints a message indicating a forceful termination. And then we have the command below, sudo q-9, so which also sends the CQ signal to forcefully terminate the process. And then that takes us to the last part of the script, which removes the yum log file if it still exists. So these two blocks that we have added, let me quickly explain. So this part right there checks if the log file still exists, and then if it still exists, then you use this command to remove the log file. And then after removing the log file, you just retry the update command again to update the system. Sudo yum update-y runs the yum update command again with sudo privileges, and then attempts all prompts automatically using the -y flag. So let's go ahead and save our script. All right, so next thing now, we have to make this script executable. All right, this script is now executable. The script as well. All right, we have our script right here. Remember when we wrote this script, we added a comment and then we put a block, which is the first block, ensuring that this script is run as root or with the user with sudo access. Remember that right here, we added this block to ensure that whoever is running this script, you are running it as root or with the user that has sudo privilege. All right. So what happens if I don't run the script with sudo or with the user with sudo privilege? What happens? All right, so you can see this script must be run as root or with sudo privilege, which is what we added right here. This block, you see, echo this script must be run as root or with sudo privilege. So which tells us that the first part of our script is working as expected. So now let's run it with sudo. So let's go ahead and run our script with sudo. So after running our script, you can see on the screen, we have this warning right there, we have the output, and then we have this right here. So based on this output, it seems that the script was able to handle the yum log, but now it's like we encounter a 404 error for some of the repository URL during the yum update. So this error occurs because the specific URLs are no longer available. To address this issue, you can either update the URL or clean the yum cache and try it again. So let's focus on improving the script to handle the yum log and then also provide a way to update the repository URL. So let's go back to our script in my screen. So we're back to our script. So let us update the script. Now our script now, every other thing remains the same. We are not making any changes. The only thing that needs to be updated is this last block right here. So this is the only part we're going to update. So I'm going to say clean try sudo sudo so this is what we need to do as far as this script is concerned, but we also have steps to also update the repository URL. So if the repositories are no longer available, then we can also update the repository URL in the /etc/yum.repos.d directory. So we can also do that, but let us run the script first before going in there. So now script again. From the output, we need to update our repositories. So to update our repository, first thing, we need to take a backup. So to take a backup, we do sudo cp-r right, taking a backup. So let's go into the file. So once you are done updating this file, just go ahead and save. So let's run the script again. So let's wait. So it looks like our script is working now. So let's wait. So you can see it works as expected now, works fine. Wait for the process to be concluded. So as you can see, our update finally worked. So our script as well is also working as expected. So you can see complete. So in this video, we've tackled the topic another app currently holding the yum log error on CentOS and RedHat Linux system. So these errors can be frustrating, especially when it halts your package management tasks. So we've walked through the steps to identify the process causing the log, determine if it's critical, and then terminate it safely if it's not. So in this video, we cover some key points: identifying the process holding the log, determine if the process is critical, and then also terminating the process, attempting the graceful termination first, then forcefully killing the process if necessary, and then removing the log file. So deleting the log file to ensure no residual logs. And then retrying the yum update, cleaning the yum cache, and then retrying the update to resolve repository errors. Throughout this process, we emphasize the importance of handling system process with care. So terminating the wrong process can lead to system instability. So always ensure the process is safe to kill, not performing critical updates. And then in addition, we encountered some 404 errors with repository URLs during the update. So we also address this issue, updating the repository URLs to valid sources, ensuring a smooth update process. So if you have any question or run into issues, please refer to the CentOS wiki, CentOS bug tracker for further assistance. I'll drop the link to that in this video. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more Linux troubleshooting tips and other IT tutorials. Thank you for watching. See you in the next